Hello, hello, hello. In fact, hello Johnny boy, how are you mate? And how's that mate of yours, you know, the bald-headed one?
Ian. Well, it's hello from me. Or is it, no, it's hello from him.
Yeah, and hello from him.
I don't ever say hello, I say hi. There's nobody there. You're not, are you? No, but I don't want to go to hell either. Still got my hat on.
Well, we've heard it all for the last 2 years. When I came back from New York, I told people about all these things that happen in children's homes.
You mean all those things that the Nottingham criminal cartel said that never happened, you couldn't have been there, and all that sort of stuff? Prove it.
Yeah. Well,
that's prove it then.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They've got even more shit on their doorstep now because they're going to be looked at for drugs experiments on children. Now, they procure children.
Nottingham criminal cartel.
Well, let's be straight about it. The former Nottingham City Corporation, because that's what they were called in the 60s. They changed their title. They're still a corporation.
Oh yeah. Well, just remember the buses used to be the Nottingham City Corporation buses.
Exactly.
So, but they've just done that because they don't want people to realise that the councils and everything, it's all a corporation.
You see, years ago they bought establishments outside of Nottingham because there was obviously thinking, well, if it's outside of Nottingham, well, it's not our responsibility, right? But guess what? They own the places, and what I want to talk about is Aston Hall, because I always knew, and I put it out there, but I wasn't 100% sure. But I always knew about this dodgy psychiatrist called Dr. Milner. Ooh. He's kind of like the Bengal of the SS.
So he was actually a doctor that worked for the corporation?
He ran this hospital at Aston Hall. Well, I placed him at Beechwood Children's Home on Ludborough Road that's been run by the City and the County Council. I also placed him actually out from Randome in Worksop now.
You mean that one that they said never existed?
Oh, yeah, you know.
And they've got no licence for either?
I don't believe they had a licence for it. But I always placed him there. Well, tell us what we got last Friday.
Well, we got some paperwork basically saying that everything you said was correct and the Nottingham criminal cartel are a bunch of liars. That's what it says.
I think it's what you call protection of truth.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is a very interesting play on word, a bit like antisocial behaviour officer.
Well, all I can say is, hello. We're coming for you, Johnny boy.
There's a hat on him for a reason, and he's saying because if people aren't doing their jobs, you have to take over and do it for them. The police are helping Mickey on this because none of them want to get tarred with the same brushes.
Well, no, actually, we're going to take it to the other level that it needs to go to, you see, because Johnny boy is lost in Let's Play. Chris there, it's gone.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it because I've seen the signs posted. We've lost our 6th division.
Is this the whole point of them actually not having city police anymore?
Yeah.
Do you not understand that they actually want to put their own police in?
Well, that's the point. If it's a city police, if it does come back now, it won't be under his criminal mate, Chris here.
Yes.
It'll be under maybe a less criminal guy that might not be so giving to the scumbags.
I just like the idea that they need a partnership with the police. So.
No, I would like to say hello for you.
It's going to be fun watching them cry.
But you know what? I have to take my hat off to you guys because you always said, hang on, I'll take my hat off because you always had faith and belief that one day we'd get the proof. And we've got it in little snippets.
Now we're playing quite a big snippet.
Remember when they used to have me see that social worker and they wanted to put a chronology together?
Oh yeah.
Well, when we found that doctor's record and it says at the bottom, child fondled superintendent, well, I know what it meant because somebody who understands doctor's records told me. It meant that a letter would have been sent to the superintendent. The superintendent was the deputy head of child welfare services, my rapist. So he obviously got the letter and destroyed it, and so there was not an investigation of 67. You see,
does worry me.
No, hang on,
does worry me.
Because the head of social services, you know, that one that they brought in from homicide with a track record of her own.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, the one that's responsible for Baby F. Well, she had her social worker tell me that. No, it doesn't say that. It says she set somebody's hair alight. Well, apparently, in those pieces of paperwork that have been non-existent for the last 3 years that I've been fighting it, there's something in there that says I set somebody's hair alight. Well, if they knew that 2 years ago, that proves that they're lying once
They
again.
must have had the paperwork to know that was there in the first place.
But I think basically we can hold back on putting this out till the back end of the week, because I've got to see the police tomorrow. You know, the ones that we met from Equinox.
Yes, yeah.
The ones that meet with us, they don't mind being videoed, and like they want to be a little bit more transparent. Well, I think they want to see what I've got, because I did make it known that there's other things. But you see, without actual evidence, because that's how you put a case together. You have to have evidence. Well, we've always had some evidence, but the cartel, they've been working together. But you see, they've lost their leader now. And now they've lost their leader, I think they're losing their balls. But sooner or later, Johnny boy, you'll be losing your marbles.
Well, I've still got one thing to say I'm concerned about, is how did this lot of, what do you call it, hardcore rapists, even worse than that, manipulative psychopaths, remain in positions of power for so long? And what makes people think now the attitude of what they're doing to you and other people is there to stop this happening rather than encouraging?
Well, you see, the thing is, right, my evidence that's gone into shows school teachers. Even shows a school teacher dismissed for paedophilia at a county council school, reinstated by the city. Went on to abuse children in the 70s.
Well,
but you see, that's another bit of a teacher. Then we have an headmaster. Now, the headmaster is personal to me because he did a few naughty things. But you see, then we go into people like Andrew Sloggins that recently got convicted. You know, people in similar positions of power that did things to kids. Then you have the maintenance staff, the groundsmen. But most sickening of all is people that ran the children's home. Now, I can actually name one of them today, right, and we'll be okay with it because he's dead. But it's one that's in with the bald head, you know what I'm talking about.
the liar.
Yeah, Mr. Liar. Right. He said that
because
he said that
narrow that down for me.
just to clarify it, the bald-headed one, the CEO of
from a big
the
building
criminal
that I
cartel.
can see that says Nottingham. No, I can't quite read it from any
We now
glasses.
can prove that he's a liar, and if he's lied to protect paedophiles, that makes him either a paedophile or a paedophile protector.
Well, the job, as far as I can see it, is not to tell the truth. It's to save embarrassment. You go that they're still using attitudes of control.
Well, he told me that and he told Graham Holden and Sammy Holland and Diane Hawley and the rest of the protesters. And he told me and my wife, when I was still in New York, they didn't have a children's home called Hazelwood. What's happening on the documents, Mark?
Hazelwood was definitely mentioned in them documents, and that you were there.
And he also said that there's no records of Arthur Hunt. What's on those records?
Yeah, that's there as well.
What's his name? Arthur Hunt.
You see, I think this is the problem, is why you can't be trusted within a closed organisation. You actually need to talk not just to the victim, but the supporters of him who can find the information, because you want to be sacked. And these guys should be charging, because obviously, so far, you can't find anything. I think there's an expression, couldn't stop a pig in a poke.
Well,
I'm not quite sure what it means, but I think all the bacon's left. Oh no, only a couple of them so far.
But the one thing that I can say, since the conviction of Andrew Sloggins, the county council did apologise. So
there are still good people in there.
Too little, too late. But we are now starting to get some transparency because, and they know that they're going to be able to account. So what are they doing? they actually wanted to work with us to provide support for the survivors.
Well, that's
Oh, you mean like they should be doing?
Yes.
Like they should have done for years and years and years?
Yeah, rather than go, oh God, this is so embarrassing,
But-
let's lift up the rug and see if we can get Mickey underneath.
But the head of the social services, when she was interviewed by Jeremy Ball from the BBC East Midlands, she said, we're doing everything we can to support Mr Summers. Well, can you remember where I was last year in front of a judge called Judge Gosmark?
Oh yeah.
They were doing everything they could to support
to
me.
silence you.
You weren't allowed to speak to me.
No, I
You
wasn't.
weren't allowed to speak to him.
No,
You weren't allowed to speak to anybody in case he said something that they wouldn't like.
Yeah, but we know they were fraudulent documents.
Well, now was it the leader or was it the CEO that called you a liar?
I think it was both of them.
Well, both of them owe you a public apology. They need to now go to the press and apologise for calling you a liar when we are now evidence that the only liars are them two.
But there was a fact.
A gentleman of rotund stature.
He looks like the Michelin Man.
Oh yes, we know
We're
it.
not mentioning his name
No.
on there. We can figure out who's wearing the tyres.
Remember when we went to see him? He said he knew nothing about it, and only the executive body of the council would know.
He's on the executive body.
Oh, what a surprise!
It's confusing this.
I think they think we came from Banana Motors. Well, if we did, all I can say is, Day-o, day-o.
Daylight come.
You'll want to go home.
I don't think the attitude actually of the people who are in there now, they're too defensive. I think they've gone far down that track.
Yeah.
And they do bully and manipulate their staff into levels of fear
Yes.
that they'll only repeat whatever it is. If Mickey Summers is meant to have one point of contact, then there's one point.
Well,
but you don't have any point of contact. Rubbish.
Well,
So,
the CEO's secretary got shot the other day. When I mentioned, when I told her her name, Sharon,
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, what memory you've got? You remember my name?" And I told her, "Well, I've got a very good memory. My memory goes back to people, places, and things, but I also remember a voice too. So I do remember you, Sharon."
And then what happened when we called the next day? Oh, you were diverted somewhere else, weren't you? Because they didn't want you to talk to them.
Yeah.
what happens if you actually want to speak to somebody with the authority and knowledge? How does that happen now?
Well, if I want to speak to somebody with authority,
Yeah.
I think there's a little building around the corner called the County Court.
Right.
I think that that's the safest thing we can do.
Yeah.
If we can find a non-corrupt judge in Nottingham.
Don't go looking at the magistrate.
You're pushing that.
That is the council's arm of lying and buggering, and messing people around. The only chance we've got is hoping that the actual real courts haven't been infested with people having to hide things which have happened to their friends or
But it
themselves.
will be interesting.
Don't forget the magistrates, it's not a court, it's just a place of business. You're not welcome there, do not believe you are. We've now got to make sure we have a court system that still has a modicum of respect for people's lives. This man's got a problem, but he's telling the truth.
Well, the thing is, Judge Gosmark last year, he actually said, "Why are you coming here with personal matters and using council money?" So maybe I need to play them at their game, because I can go, because I'm disabled, I can take an injunction and I don't have to pay. But it'd be interesting to see if that CEO uses council money, because then, hello Ian.
Has this type of thing happened before?
It was criticised by Judge Gosmark. So, if you're listening, Mr. CEO, try using council money whenever you for fraud.
It's quite common to
And
use
then,
council money
I
for
will be
the basis of that.
saying, hello, you're nicked.
I still think they're trying to keep things, we call it, as peaceful as possible and hoping things go away, but we're finding more and more partnerships in this are crumbling away, realising they don't want to be tarred with the same brushes and thinking they help cover up. But their attitudes, I find, still are pretty disgusting. They can only administer paperwork, which obviously they can't even do that. So looking after children today, are they still at risk? They'll say they're not, but when you've got the same attitude at the top, they're more at risk. They're better organised, they have better technologies, and more children are going missing. Now that's scary. So you go, before you go further down, well, we can't say things like that. It's not true. None of this has happened. This man's made us all up, and all the paperwork we've obviously faked and put before you. The paperwork that you couldn't find.
Well,
yeah? I don't think so.
I read something a few weeks ago. It was in one of the broadsheets, and it was all about these things that's been going on for decades with child abuse and children's homes, and they said that as far as that Goodall inquiry is coming, it makes Nottingham look like the paedophile capital of Great Britain.
Well, it is.
It seems to always come to Nottingham.
I always say it's the epicentre.
Well, let's just say if you can get away with it anywhere, that's where you're going to go. That's why people are going on sex tourism. Thailand's changing its laws and everything else because he doesn't want to be Nottingham.
But I almost forgot. Let's go back to Dr. Milner. Who do you think Dr. Milner's connected to?
We're going to play Guess Me again, aren't we? Theresa May. Well, that's what they've got that one out.
But she might be a friend of his.
Old school.
Jimmy Savile.
Hey!
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Did he fix it?
Well, he might have fixed it for Johnny Boy.
Something's been fixed anyway. I have to say, you get to a certain level on even the most minor problems, and the council can't cope. So on the levels of this stuff going here, you're pretending to still be in authority and control. It's not. Well, you need to find out what's going on from the people who are telling what's going on. No point turning around and saying we don't believe you because it hasn't been written down. You've been busy destroying paperwork. The council has a habit of making paperwork disappear. Sue me for defamation to character protocol like you tried last time. But you see, he's got friends. He's got friends. I haven't got any friends. But I'll keep digging till we find this stuff. Then it turns out that we're not lying and you haven't been cooperative or helpful. You have started to be conservative with the truth. Lies. So if you can't be brave enough to speak to anybody because you're worried about what they're going to say, then you really have lost the plot now if they're telling the truth. You look like the bad guys. Hats on again. Because if you carry on like this, you're going to get people with pointy heads, and you don't think it's happening because you've got a partnership. And I don't like partnerships with police. Police have got a job to do. Courts have got a job to do.
Well, how can you have it, like, a partnership, albeit strategic, right, engaging with the ones that they're investigating?
Exactly. Best thing to do is to ask my friends if I'm a good man or not, because there's some people out there think I'm not a very good man. We go like, let me get them on discussion, see what I've done. I'd love to sit down and find out what your servants, supporters, people and friends think about you without the fear of what you're going to do to them if they don't say nice things.
But here's the thing. We know that Nottingham Criminal Cartel is a private, for-profit corporation. Therefore, it being a private corporation, if it was in the normal land of private corporations, it would be bankrupt by now because they run things so badly. But because there's a bunch of criminals robbing us all,
they tell you that you've got to pay the money.
Yeah.
But if they're criminals, can I go and arrest them?
Absolutely, that time is
Hello,
fully.
hello, Johnny, we're coming.
I think that...
Well, with that said, in the words of Dixon on Green, evening all.
I'm having a fag.
We'll see you soon.
Crying because I don't have my police force to protect me and bully people anymore. Oh, I'm so crying and so sad. No police to protect me.
Debt Free TV, in association with GetOutOfDebtFree.org.